We're going to make sure that they feel safe.
Ronnie Ward from the Ditma section of the Flatbush neighborhood, Brooklyn, in the city of New York. Well, it's Sunday morning right now at about 8:23 a.m. And so this is from NYC Mayor's Office, posted to YouTube on March 28th. Yeah, 31:30. 2020. Thursday, March 28th. Yeah. Makes public safety related announcement with NYPD Commissioner Caban. Fulton Street subway station, lower level, Broadway and Fulton Street, New York, New York. Well, really? Well, this is going to be interesting. Okay, well, let's let it go. Here we go. Let's hear this.
Joining us here today for this very important announcement about subway safety. Mayor Adams always says public safety and justice are the prerequisite to prosperity. He said it yesterday. He said it today. He's going to say it tomorrow. This is our North Star. His administration. He's going to keep people safe. We're going to make sure that they feel safe. So people are going to be safe. We're going to make sure that they feel safe in the city that they call home. And we're going to be doing this while protecting New Yorkers' rights. So before I introduce the mayor,
I'm just going to tell you right now. I'm just going to tell you right now. I can't imagine where that is. That this is really in a subway station at Fulton Street and on the lower level. I don't believe it in a second. I don't. It can't be. It's not possible. There's not a subway station in the world in New York City that looks like that. Looks like that anywhere? Why, gosh, no. Absolutely not. None. It makes no sense. I mean, it just doesn't look like that, okay? At all. At all. What the hell's going on, you know?
to acknowledge some of the partners that we have up here today who are committed to subway safety and safety in New York City. Of course, we have the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, Edward Caban. We have my partner, Deputy Mayor Ann Williams-Isom. We have a Chief Advisor to the Mayor,
Who are these? Well, where are they? How do you know who they are? You don't know who any of them are.
We have the MTA Chair and CEO, John Oliva.
I don't know what's going on. This
we have
is
the
ridiculous.
NYPD's
I can't
Chief
even believe
of
I'm
Transit
watching
Bureau,
this.
Michael Kemper.
What is that back there? That is
the
not a
NYPD's
Fulton
Chief
Street.
of Patrol, John
What the
Chow.
hell is that?
NYPD Deputy Commissioner Kaz Daughtry. Health and Hospital Commissioner, our Dr. Ashwin Vasan. Our Department of Social Services Commissioner, Molly Park. And also we're joined by Brian Stetton, our Senior Advisor for Severe Mental Illness. And also the Mayor would like to extend his thanks and our administration thanks to Governor Kathy Hochul for her leadership and partnership in these efforts. So with that now, I'd like to turn it over to Mayor of New York City, Mayor Eric Adams.
Thanks so much, Dan. Thanks, and I'm glad you introduced all the people who are here because it's a hallmark of this administration that we believe in collaboration and we believe that we must come.
Well, you know, it's really odd for all these people to be having some meeting, you know, when I couldn't get to the mayor's office. I couldn't find the mayor's office. I couldn't have anybody tell me where it is. I couldn't find any city office at all. None. Nobody seems to know where anybody is. Nobody. Where's Governor Hochul's office in New York? Like, where are these places? And then I hear Obama and Biden are in town at Radio City. Are they really? Were they really in Radio City? Were they really here? I believe Donald Trump was out at Long Island. I don't believe Biden Obama and Biden together. Really? I can't imagine. I went just to try to see if I could even speak to somebody in the administration at all. In City Hall building. None. Nobody. Couldn't get in. Could not get in. What the hell is going on? Really? I mean, my goodness. Well, the only reason I feel safe riding the subway is because there's people around keeping an eye on that aren't have anything to do with NYPD, MTA, or anything else. No. No, after what happened to me this past week, no. No. No, it's ridiculous is what it is. When the facts on the ground that I have seen with my own eyes walking all over this city, at least Manhattan and Brooklyn. Well, I won't go to Staten Island. I'm not going to go. And I won't go to the Bronx either. I just won't go up there. I just won't go. No. You can only get to the Bronx. There's only a couple of ways you can go unless you go by subway. But I'm not going to the Bronx. No, I'm not going there. No. It's just... you know what? It's just... for elected officials, the mayor, the governor, the comptroller, these elected people that we elect, the comptroller, for these people to not be accessible, to not see them out in public, or, to not have them standing out somewhere outdoors where you can hear them and see them is outrageous. It leads me to only one conclusion. Then none of them are in office. That's what it leads me to believe. If your elected leaders don't appear in public and often in public spaces where everybody can go, it means one thing. They're not in their office. The people of the United States of America have an expectation that is ironclad forever. Our elected people are accessible, period. They don't work for themselves. And Governor Hochul takes an oath to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States because the Constitution requires it. You know what? It's just... here it is, Easter Sunday, And where are they at? They're on some soundstage somewhere. Who knows where they are? They could be, who knows? They could be anywhere in the world. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Might as well. Who knows? I don't know where they are. I have no idea. Nobody knows. I couldn't even get into a federal building. Without showing them some piece of paper or something. I swear to God, I feel like I'm living in... I don't know where I'm... Let me see your papers. Got to have your papers. Papers? What do you mean, papers? I had a security guard assault me on Thursday. Put his hands on me. Are you kidding me? I ended up going back. Yeah. I feel like it's... I can't believe it. I swear to God, it must be like living in the 20s or something. Yeah. Yeah. You got to figure out who's in charge of what turf wherever you go around here nowadays. Yeah. Neighborhood watch has a whole new meaning now. Yeah. Well, at least there's some protection, for God's sakes. I'm not getting shaken down for money. Thank God there is some protection. I can't believe this, really.
Together to solve these extremely complex problems. Far too long, we have relied on one agency or one part of government to deal with issues that cross over various areas of government. And we could not have asked for and received a greater partner than my brother Lieber, for what you have been doing and how you have been holding it down over and over. We stood side by side so many times. We have been on the trains together. We have analyzed how do we deal with the public safety issues that we are facing in the city, particularly in our transit system. And we are clear, and I'm going to continue to state, as DM Banks indicated, public safety is the actual safety, and it is how people are feeling. We know we have over 4 million riders a day in a reliable system, and we know that we have approximately 6 felonies a day out of those 4 million riders. But if they don't feel safe, then we're not accomplishing our task. Stats don't matter if people don't believe they are in a safe environment, and that is what we are going to accomplish. I said it the other day, and I'm going to say it again. 3 problems that we must correct in this city. One is recidivism. You cannot continue to have 38 people assaulting transit employees and committing over 1,100 crimes in the city. 2, severe mental health illness. It's a real problem. We see it on our system. People need the help that they deserve, and we are focused on doing that with the entire team that we have in place. And
this mental health thing, that's just another way of shake them down and lock them up. That's all that is. What about the homeless problem? I mean, what about access to health care? I have Medicare and Medicaid. Full paid for by the city. Do you think I can see an actual medical doctor in this town? I can't get an appointment with a real MD. This has MD behind their name. Can't get it. They have these pop-up city MD and these urgent care places. Did you know they don't even take they don't even take insurance. It's Medicare. They don't even take the state insurance. The government provided. They don't even take it. So are they real doctors then? Or is it a pop-up pretend place? I don't know. You can't get any information. Don't think you're going to call anywhere. There's nobody to talk to. There's nobody that answers a phone anywhere. At all. How does the state of New York allow somebody with a medical license, they have to be a licensed medical professional doctor to treat people? How do you allow somebody to set up a business to provide medical care, and people who have state and federal provided insurance don't allow them or require them to accept it? I don't know. And then I just learned about another side deal here. I just learned about a side deal the other night. Yeah. Went to a store that used to be a Stop and Shop. It's not a Stop and Shop anymore. I don't know when it flipped over to something else, but it's not. It's not. They say they take, oh my gosh, I don't even know, man. I can't even figure it out. Like, I don't even know. I mean, it's just, I'd have to take a video of a picture of the thing in order to figure out, like, what the heck. She said they take, I don't know, health. I don't even know. I don't even know how that, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't. But this, I know how this mental health thing works. I know. I was locked up in Massachusetts for 3 weeks when I shouldn't even have to be. I know what that's all about. I made a trip to a hospital over here. Maimonides. Yeah, I did. Maimonides. I did in Brooklyn. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. I thought I'd barely get out of there. Really. I thought it was horrific what they did. It's criminal what happened to me over there. It is. If I can ever find an attorney, boy, I'm going to sue them. Of course I am. Take him to court over it. Yes. It was wrong what happened over there. I just, oh, good luck finding an attorney. In a town full of attorneys, apparently, I guess. I don't know. I'm just beginning to wonder just how many people are really here anymore. I mean, really? I mean, I don't know.
The random acts of violence. They play on the psyche of New Yorkers. When someone is pushed to the tracks or someone shoots a gun in the subway system. Those.
I'll pull up the report, okay? I have a video of it. There's a local reporter down in a subway station. It's a real subway station. You can tell what they look like. The reporter says, yes, there was somebody. I have to laugh because the reporter's like, yes, the writer was pushed directly in front of the train as it was coming into the station, and they talk about how it was rolled over by the train, and then in 2 minutes later, it said, and they were taken out by stretcher to see if they could have their life done or something. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, anybody's supposed to believe a news report that says somebody gets pushed in front of a train? You know their body has just been ripped apart under a train. You just know it has, okay? I mean, it's death. You know, it is. And then within a minute they're saying, and then they show a stretcher going out. A stretcher. That is beyond, that just says to me. And the report that said, Governor Hochul's deploying National Guard and all these people to the stations and everything. And you know what? I haven't seen any more than one or two here or there, which is sort of normal anyway. I mean, occasionally you see some, you know, but I'm like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of big spaces around here. I mean, I'll say the same thing I've said for Joseph Biden. It's been since October of last year, since the President of the United States has stood in the East Room of the White House, invited the domestic and foreign press in to sit and just take questions for an hour or so or whatever. At this point, I don't think he's capable of doing it. No. Because they sure couldn't put a double or look-alike up there. And I don't think he could do it at this point. Which in and of itself means there's a big problem.
Three aspects are sending the message that our city is out of control. Our city is not out of control. We have the best police department on the globe, and they are delivering.
You know what, Mayor Adams? I agree. They are the best. We have the best of everything in New York. But where are they? Where's the accessibility? Like, where's... Oh my gosh. I was at Grand Central Station on the main floor over on the Vanderbilt side. There's a podium there. There's an officer sitting there. I walk up to the officer. It says New York, but then I know, it says MTA on it. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you're MTA. All right, I'm not going to buy it. He says, well, I was just sort of wondering, like, you know, where's the commissioners of police? Or where, you know, where would you go? You know, I mean, like, does anybody really know where you go? I mean, like, where are they? Like, can you go there? Is it in a building you can see? I mean, I don't, I mean, you know, no, they don't. I have people, I swear to God, I mean, Lord have mercy. I mean, I did have an NYPD officer the other day swipe me through the turnstile after I'd been there and went and left and came back and went through all this mess. Yeah, the MTA person at the booth said I had to have 10 cents to get in through the thing. I said, 10 cents? What do you mean 10 cents? I was like, 10 cents. Well, since when does 10 cents get you? Like, what the hell are you talking about? So I left. I came back with $5, a $5 bill. I did. Guess what? Neither of the machines. It was at Herald Square, for God's sakes. Yeah, Herald Square. Both machines wasn't taking any bills. I had a $5 bill in my hand. I had my card. I couldn't even put the $5 on the card. So I'm standing there with $5. The woman behind the thing went and buzzed me through, of course. And nobody jumps the turnstiles anymore. And nobody's going to let you in. No, I've been turned away so many times now with people wearing whatever. I'm like, they don't even care. I show them I'm disabled and everything. Oh, they don't care. They're disabled. Oh, no, if you don't pay the fare, a dollar, whatever it is. You don't pay the fare, you don't ride. If you do the crime, you do the time. Well, if you're disabled, oh my gosh. And then finally when I was like, well, okay, here's my $5. I've got the cash now and I can't get it on the card. I was sort of like, I just couldn't believe it. Like, it makes me wonder, does anybody really know, like, what's really going on? Like, is somebody aware of the fact that all these machines have flipped to no bills? I mean, no, like, really? Oh, but then I can do the Omni thing. I swear, I just take any. I have some old debit. I have old debit cards that I know have no money on them or accounts. I flip. Oh, it'll green me right on through though. It has. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. It's not a personal criticism of anybody. This is all the way up and down the line. My own mother calls me, sees stuff on the TV and stuff, and she worries about me, for God's sakes. And I worry about the people that I don't know where they are. What happened to them? I don't know.
Safety every day, and I cannot thank them enough for what they do in our city.
Yeah, wonderful.
Public transit system, and especially our subway system, it's the lifeblood of our city. We hear it all the time from all of our corporate leaders, and those 4 million New Yorkers use it to get to work, school, and everyday movement in our city. And it makes New York City possible. In fact, we are who we are because of our public transportation system. And keeping New Yorkers safe and maintaining confidence in the system is key to ensuring that New York remains and continues to be the safest big city in America. When we came into an office 2 years ago, we were focused: public safety, revitalizing our economy, and making the city more livable for New Yorkers. And today, we are continuing to deliver on those three important.
Well, it makes me wonder, what's going on with the roads down in the down Lower Manhattan? They're all ground up. Like, the pavement's all been ground off. Are they repaving down there? I mean, I, it was Thursday? 3 in the afternoon, Lower Manhattan. Like, there's nobody walking around. Didn't see anybody coming. And I just didn't see anybody. There was very few people walking around. I'm still not sure where the mayor's office even is. I thought it was in one building. Somebody says it's over there. And then somebody says, well, it's over there behind these trees. See behind the trees? I'm like, no, I don't see behind the trees. Oh, well, okay. Oh, great. Thank you. Oh, my, oh, my. Well, I've been up and down a lot of streets and been to places I didn't think I was planning on going. There seems to be people around that when I get lost, well, go up here. And oh, okay, because I ask. Inevitably, when I get lost and ask somebody, I always end up someplace it's like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I came by here today. So glad I came by here today. So that I can be a witness to it. Yeah. Just be a witness to what I've seen. That's all I do. I just make a witness to what I've seen. I don't make a judgment about it. I can't really say. I agree, everybody standing there is doing their job. I know they are. And they're doing the best with whatever it is, but you know what? There's nothing more powerful than all the people that live here in New York City. I mean, there's just not. I know this. Whatever it is, whatever force, people, whatever it is, whatever this thing is that's going on, it can't be negotiated with. It can't be placated. It can't be, oh, pretty please, or anything else. No. It can't be. No, it can't. I mean, they have a few unruly groups over in Europe, too. Oh, they can't be reasoned with either. They got a similar problem, I think. Sometimes you just have to tell some people, you know what, you're wrong, and shut the fuck up and get out of here and go back where, I mean, really, I just don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. It's just really odd. It's really odd. And it's just not in one spot either. No, it's almost like, is there somehow the ransomware, the whole world's been being held ransom at once or something through technology or something? Is this like a ransomware thing for the whole world or something? Or what? I mean, really? I mean, is it? I don't know. I mean, surely you couldn't blackmail the whole world. I mean, you surely couldn't do that. I mean, it's what it feels like. I mean, it seems like. I mean, I know that there are capabilities out there. But, oh, well, let's hear what Mayor Adams has to say.
Entities. When we saw an uptick in crime on the system in January, we did not wait. We responded immediately. Commissioner Caban and his team, Chief Kemper, immediately reached out to me probably 3 weeks into January and stated there's a trend that we're seeing and we must respond immediately to it. And we partnered with the...
You know what? I'm going to tell you something. If any of these offices are sitting at a desk looking at a computer screen, if they're looking at a screen and think they're monitoring what's happening, if they're looking in the cameras and think they're seeing what's going on in the subway, no, you're not. I mean, which Oceans was it? Was it Oceans 11 or which Oceans was it when technology rigged all the cameras so they didn't even look like they were there? Like, come on. Like, I don't trust any of my technology. And none of it. That's why I have to verify everything. At this point, I don't think that the people running the MTA can even rely upon the panels they have in their offices to really know where the trains even are. I don't think so. I don't think they can, actually. I don't think so. I don't. No. I've had some pretty crazy things happen on the trains now. Yeah. Like, I still don't quite understand how I can be at 72nd Street on Q and heading from there, I still don't really quite understand why the N train runs on there. I just can't quite get that yet. I mean, I know when it goes past 96, it does go somewhere. I mean, I do know whatever, but I still, for the life of me, can't figure out why a train that has N on it even comes down that track. I mean, at all. I mean, but it does. It does. And I mean, gosh, I mean, it's just, and oh God, it's just challenging beyond measure. Yeah. To just try to make sure you're getting on the right train in the right direction. Like the N's running on the R and it's running here and stopping there and there and there and turning around. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Thank God I quite honestly, if anybody had to be in a hurry to go to work, like, I don't know how you could get there on time. I really don't know how you could. Then they have these paper schedules down, all these change sheets. They're at all the stations. Change sheets, yeah. Like, taped to the poles. I mean, like, really? Like, how much time did it take to... I just like... can they have that all figured? I mean, who maps out all those things to make sure it's... I mean, who hangs all those things up? Like, they're always on time. They're always for the right days. So I'm thinking like, well... Gosh, how do those all get hung up? Like, oh, I don't know.
To do so. We surged more than 1,000 additional offices in the subway system each day. And we saw the help from the MTA. They have installed over 15,000 cameras in our subway system, including 1,000 cameras in subway cars, train cars. And our data-driven deployment of additional officers produced good results underground. We saw arrests in the transit system increase 45% for the year.
Oh, well, that's an interesting statistic. So he gave a number. So that means, for me, this next week, I should be able to go over there in Manhattan somewhere. I don't know where. There should be a place where there's a blotter. They used to call it a blotter. When people are arrested, their name goes on a thing, and it goes there because we always had that because press would occasionally go just to make sure that things are going well. You can't just lock somebody and put it. Name's supposed to go down. There's supposed to be there's supposed to be a process for that. So, well, that's good to know. Okay. I mean, I don't know where that's at though. I don't know where. I don't. I'll try to find that this next week, I guess. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a good idea, I guess. Just, I don't work. I'm disabled. So, I mean, I have time to go out and do these things, but, I mean, it sounds really foolish, though, for me to say, yeah, I'm here in New York City. I'm going to take some time out this next week, and I'm going to see if I can go find something. Just to see if I can find out where it is, like, can I really get there, and who might it be, and where's the office at, and what's the hours, and like, yeah, let me just go do that. Yeah, I called 311 this morning. I did. It's 9 o'clock. I called a little while ago. I still don't understand what they said. This is 311 something for faster something online service. Call 311 online / I was like, where online? Like, where online? You call 311 and they refer you to go online. I'm like, online what? Like, what do I do online? 311 tells you to go online, so I have to. They talk so fast, yeah. So I was like, what? What do I got to do? I was like, I still don't know what I got to do. I have a funny feeling people have no idea what's really going on. Well, not because. I must admit, I've only become aware here in the last several months that something's really messed up, but it took me a while to start figuring out what it is. You know what I had to do? I had to do like Tyra Banks, Ms. Tyra Banks, yes, on her modeling show she had for all those seasons. Yeah, I learned something from watching those. All those models, if you want to get hired and you want to have a chance, you gotta put a book together, and it's called a go see. That's right. All those models had to learn to do a go see. You have to go see somebody. They have to see you, and you got to go see them. So I just say now, well, I'm going on a go see today, and I'm going to go see what I can see. Yeah, that's all. I learned it from Tyra Banks. It's not me. I know models work really, really hard. You can't get booked as a model if you, actors have, I don't know. So I just do a go see.
Our efforts have provided immediate results. In February, we witnessed a 15.4% decrease in crime, and in March, we saw a 16% decrease in crime. Thank my partner in Albany who continues to understand our North Star is public safety, and that's Governor Hochul. I could not ask for a better partner in ensuring we're able to move through technology like this and initiatives like this. When I spoke to the governor and told her, I believe we found some of the technology we're looking for, she said, Eric, let's move ahead and let's accomplish the task. We know the strategies that we put in place are not enough. We must get rid of those 6 felonies per day. And that's why we are going to evolve. We're going to evolve in a way to ensure that technology becomes part of the public safety apparatus that will join our police officers to accomplish the task we're looking for. I'm proud to announce that we are taking the next step forward in our ongoing efforts to make our subways even safer and ensure New Yorkers feel safer in the transit system.
Well, I'm wondering, who's providing this technology? I hope it's not this. Who's vetting the technology vendors? This is where I think the problem is. Oh man, oh man, oh man.
Today, in accordance with the Post Act, for the use of technology by the NYPD, we'll be publishing the impact and use policy for electromagnetic weapons detection systems here in New York City. This kicks off the 90-day waiting period before this type of technology can be tested and used in our city to help keep New Yorkers safe. This is a rule that we have to follow. We have to wait 90 days before we can implement this technology. But during the 90-day waiting period, the NYPD will work to identify all vendors with effective technology and expertise that are willing to come to New York City and pilot their technology to help prevent firearms from entering our transit system and other type weapons.
Oh, that's not that stuff that picks up the sound and stuff, is it? Oh my gosh. Weapons? I don't think anybody's bringing weapons in anyway, are they? I've never heard of there been a shooting. Not been any shootouts. I don't know. Weapons? find out. I mean, I think it takes everybody. I know I'm trying. I'll know this. There's people in my neighborhood doing their part. There are. I see them every day. Shopkeepers and people and vendors. I'll tell you what. Well, I hope Mayor Adams and them can know this, that there are people are doing what they do in their own neighborhoods. They're keeping things safe. I mean, I've seen grandchildren out walking with their grandparents. I've seen husbands walking with wives. I've just seen a lot of people taking care of people. Now I have seen that. I mean, so that is going on. I mean, but I just don't even know if they even know that. I mean, I know everybody is doing their part because I do see that. So I don't know. My mother, it's an odd thing, but my mother, 63 or something, my mother had a job at the telephone office in my little town. Yeah, because guess what? She still had to take one plug from this place and plug it in this place if she wanted to connect the calls, I mean, physically had to make a connection, like physically connected. And I'm sort of thinking like, there's some real practicalities about that. I mean, I don't know.
We put this out, the calling, in January of 2022, and we're seeing private industry step up and answer the call like those calls have been responded to before. This is a Sputnik moment. When President Kennedy said we were going to put a man on the moon and everyone responded. Well, today we said we're going to bring technology that can identify guns and other dangerous weapons, and our private industry responded. And the companies that we're partnering with and announcing today is Evolve. Their weapons detection systems, like the one here today, are already in use in the city at private companies, at spaces where the public visit every day. Like the Met and One Vanderbilt. Another day I was coming out of an office building and I saw it being used there. It's at numerous sporting events, like today is opening day in Shea Stadium and other sporting events. While we'll be demonstrating the Evolve system in just a few minutes, we will show you how it operates, and trust me, it is clearly impressive when you're able to see how this technology is able to zero in where a gun potentially could be carried. But we're putting the call out. This city has a technology mayor. When you do an analysis of how many Google searches are done and how many people respond to technology, you see how much we come up. We have a technology mindset in this city, and we're calling all companies out there, bring us your product, let us test it. This is the best testing ground on the globe to see how good your product is. Now, would I prefer us not having to walk through this to come on our system? You're darn right I do. But we have to live life the way it is and work to make it what it ought to be. And right now, we have a small number of bad people that are doing bad things to good people. It was a chilling impact to watch a gun carried on our subway system and discharged with those passengers. And until that reality becomes the norm, we are going to use technology to identify those bad people who are carrying bad weapons. And I say, those who are afraid of scanners and rather not walk through it, I'd rather you be safe. So let's bring on the scanners, and we are taking a huge step towards public safety. We understand New Yorkers value their privacy, and we understand that we must be transparent on how this technology is used, and we're going to do that. But the goal is to keep New York City safe. We want to be clear of no facial recognition, no biometrics, no items will be used to hold your facial or your identification. We also cannot talk about public safety as I switch gears without addressing our extreme mental health crisis, something that Dr. Fassan, Deputy Mayor Williams Isom, and the entire team of the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, we've talked about this from the beginning. Other people wanted to push this aside and ignore it. We faced it head on, and the results are clear. Our goal in the upcoming days, we must ensure that individuals who are experiencing severe mental illness receive the help they need. We can't keep walking by people that we know are dealing with severe mental health issues. And they are many times in danger to themselves and in danger to subway riders. We lost another life this week when a rider was pushed into the path of an incoming train. Our subway system is not a hospital, and it's not an emergency room. This is not the place where people should be if they're dealing with severe, extreme mental health illnesses. This transportation system must be a place where we commute safely. Those who need specialized assistance from medical professionals must be in places where they can receive it. Safety and justice for all New Yorkers must go hand in hand. So today, in addition to our technology announcement, I am announcing that we are ready to start hiring more clinicians for our subway co-response outreach teams, also known as SCOUT. These teams consist of clinicians and police working together to swiftly move individuals with untreated severe mental illness out of the subway system and into care. In response to the team's early success, Governor Hochul has announced $20 million to expand to 10 teams by the end of 2025. We're also taking legislative steps asking Albany to pass Assemblymember Bronstein's Supportive Intervention Act. We have to meet this head on, and the laws must match the policies that we are attempting to implement. This will empower us to scale up our efforts and ensure that we are considering a patient's entire history, not take to the hospital one day, give them medication, and then relieve them, but to take into account their entire history so that we can give them exactly what they need and make the determination whether to admit them to a hospital and give them the care that they deserve. If we remove these barriers, this would make common sense approaches to change on how we're seeing the mental health crisis adjust. This will allow us to get even more people with untreated severe mental illness the help that they need. And I want to be clear, these change rules will apply to a small number of people. Those with mental illness is severe and is going untreated. We're doing no favors for our brothers and sisters living on the street, dealing with severe mental health illness, and walking by them, waiting until they commit a crime, or waiting until they do a violent act and traumatize a family member. Can't have a system where 50% of the people at Rikers Island have mental health illnesses and believe that that's the answer to the problem. We're going to respect civil liberties, but you don't respect individuals when you ignore that they're crying out for help. The cruel aspects of severe mental illness is that it sometimes prevents those who need help to recognize the need that they require. And that is why we have laws that allow involuntary care. Maintaining public safety and making sure our city continues to be the safest big city in America is an ongoing effort. And this duality of technology and our mental health approach is going to accomplish the goal that we seek. Transit riders should be safe. Our city should be safe. People should receive the care that they deserve. There's no place for guns and weapons on our transit system, and we're going to respond accordingly. I want to thank all our partners. Particularly, I want to thank the police commissioner and his team for continuing to put themselves in harm's way. As I conclude, our hearts go out to the family members of our slain officer. The wake is today. I received a call from the president a few moments ago, sending his condolences, and I would relay those condolences to the family. But we are truly impacted by the loss. We're going to continue to provide the safety to the city that it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Next, I'd like to turn it over to our partner here in this mission, the chair and CEO of the MTA, John Oliva. But prior to that, I'd just like to say is that, the partnership with John, I'd like to say, we meet weekly. We probably speak daily. This is not the first collaboration that we're doing here, right? I mean, we have been pushing this from day one, and I'd just like to say on behalf of the mayor and this administration, it is truly beneficial to have a partnership like you. I value your partnership and continued friendship in this particular endeavor. With that, I'd like to turn it over to the chair.
Let me be clear. The MTA has never had better partners in City Hall and in city government than this administration. They are passionate about transit safety. The mayor is a transit cop. It's in his blood. It's not changing. And when I talk about how it was different when we were kids and we rode the trains, and there was more crime than there is right now, and we saw under the leadership of great police officials how we turned that around. And my statement at the MTA board yesterday is, we ain't going back. We ain't going back. We are determined to have the same sense of safety that our kids grew up with. My kids rode the trains all through the night, all hours of the day. Maybe tells you something about their parents. But they felt safe doing that no matter what hour of the day or night. And we're not going back to where it was in the old days. Mayor, you and Governor Hochul are absolutely committed to doing everything possible to increase subway safety. And I am excited to learn more about this weapons detection technology that you have done so much to evaluate and will continue to evaluate. But innovation is not just about technology. The city, the state, and the MTA are partnering to do a lot of things that haven't been done in the subways before. Surging officers, yes, you responded in January, and the result is that the surge of crime in January is back down almost to level versus 2023 as a result of the progress you made. But now, putting 800 officers at the fare array, recognizing that we have to put up a barrier at that point, not just to stop fare evaders, but also to make sure that people who have weapons don't get into the system. That's what is innovative about Operation Fair Play. And we all know that not every fare evader is a criminal, but literally virtually every criminal, if you look back at the videos, and we have 15,000 cameras, as the mayor said, when you look back at the video, every one of them jump the turnstile or otherwise evade the fare. But also innovative as a result of efforts already undertaken. Gun seizures up 113% from the same period last year. Weapons confiscation overall up 53%. Also innovative. Governor, after talking to the mayor, brought us together with the DAs, because as many people as the great police department arrests, they got to get, the criminal justice system has to make sure that they don't come back again and again. And just this last week, there is initiated a series of meetings with the DAs that are about focusing on repeat offenders. Looking at the stats, the repeat offenders identified by the PD, barely over 100 of them accounted for some huge percentage of crime last year, something north of 20% of the crime. We need to make sure that their full criminal history is looked at every time a decision is made about bail, charging decisions, indictment decisions, and sentencing. That has to be a focal point, and that discussion with the DAs is underway, and I am determined, with the mayor and the governor's leadership, that should yield results. But the biggest innovation is what the mayor just talked about, is this mental health initiative we call SCOUT, putting teams in the field with MTA cops combined with the clinicians being hired by the city who understand the state mental health law and are prepared to pull the trigger on involuntary commitments. They know enough to diagnose severe mental illness. They walk through this passageway in Fulton and they let people who are obviously homeless pass in some cases because they don't have the signals of severe mental illness, but they are willing, when severe mental illness is identified and there's somebody suffering in the public space, who, by the way, is likely to be having impact on the sense of safety in the system, this team is ready to pull that trigger and say, you got to come indoors. It's time for you to get treated. And that is an innovation that, again, the partnership between the city and the MTA and the state is yielding. And we have a lot more beds for mental health than we did before Governor Hochul started pushing the hospitals to reestablish the inpatient psychiatric beds that were lost during COVID. And now we're reopening beds at facilities that were almost decommissioned, like the psychiatric center on Ward's Island, to make sure there are enough inpatient psychiatric beds. Innovation. This is what the riders want to see us doing. They tell us in surveys again and again that as much as crime, the risk of crime in the system, which is pretty low, concerns them, what really alarms them when they're considering using the public transit system is the interaction with people who are behaving erratically. We have compassion, but our riders should not be subject to that sense of discomfort and fear and disorder that is part of the result of this problem we're challenging, we're trying to fight against. So as I said, we have to keep working together and innovating on safety. And once again, I just want to acknowledge the leadership we've had in Albany and the leadership we've had from the entire City Hall team. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Chair. Next, we're going to hear from the Chief of the Transit Bureau, NYPD Chief Michael Kemper.
Chairman Lieber, thank you, and thank you for your continued support and for your leadership. Mayor Adams, Commissioner, good morning to all. Mayor Adams and Police Commissioner Cabana have been clear. I've been clear. Public safety in the transit system is our top priority. People must be safe, and people must feel safe when they're riding the subway. As Mayor Adams mentioned, for nearly 2 months, we've deployed upwards of 1,000 additional cops into the subway system each day. Other NYPD initiatives included the deployment of top senior NYPD chiefs into the subway system as well. Last week's Chiefs in Transit added to an already enhanced uniform presence in the subways, reinforcing the sense of comfort a uniformed cop, regardless of rank, brings to our riders. More importantly, this allowed department leadership to hear firsthand from riders their thoughts and concerns. And one of the top complaints from many people we spoke to was fare evasion and how it's not fair to them, the paying rider who's doing the right thing. And they're right. Open acts of lawlessness at our fare gates sets a tone of disorder at the very beginning of a rider's journey and has proven time and time again to be directly connected to other more serious crimes in our subway system. To that, we announced Operation Fair Play earlier this week. Operation Fair Play expands upon our existing efforts to curb fare evasion and directs transit cops and patrol cops to join forces and work together